The human desire for immortality is as old as time itself. Myths, legends, and religious texts are filled with stories of quests for eternal life. However, we are now on the cusp of a scientific revolution that might finally make this age-old dream a reality. By the year 2050, we may have the technology to upload our minds, essentially our consciousness and memories, onto a digital substrate, achieving a form of digital immortality. Imagine a world where death is no longer inevitable, where our minds can exist beyond the constraints of our fragile biological bodies. This is the promise of mind uploading, a prospect both exhilarating and daunting in its implications. It raises profound questions about the nature of consciousness, the meaning of life, and the very definition of what it means to be human. The journey towards this digital future is driven by rapid advancements in neuroscience, computer science, and artificial intelligence. As we delve deeper into the complexities of the human brain, we inch closer to understanding the intricate neural processes that give rise to our thoughts, emotions, and memories. This knowledge is crucial to developing the sophisticated technology needed to capture and replicate the essence of who we are in a digital form. The potential benefits of mind uploading are immense. Imagine a world where knowledge and experiences can be shared instantaneously, where the limitations of aging and disease no longer constrain us. Yet this brave new world also presents us with a myriad of ethical and societal challenges that we must carefully consider as we venture further down this uncharted path. Before we can even contemplate uploading a mind, we must first understand the intricate biological machine that houses it. The human brain is the most complex structure known to humankind, a biological marvel of interconnected neurons and synapses. It is within this intricate web of neural networks that our thoughts, emotions, memories, and consciousness arise. The brain is made up of billions of neurons, specialized cells that communicate with each other through electrical and chemical signals. Each neuron can form thousands of connections called synapses with other neurons, creating a vast and intricate network of communication pathways. Information flows through this network like electrical impulses, constantly changing and adapting in response to our experiences. Our memories, the very essence of who we are stored within these neural connections. When we experience something new connections are formed between neurons, strengthening existing pathways or creating entirely new ones. This process of synaptic plasticity is fundamental to learning, memory, and ultimately our sense of self. However, the brain is not simply a static storage device. It is a dynamic, ever-changing organ, constantly adapting and rewiring itself in response to our experiences and environment. This inherent plasticity is what allows us to learn, grow, and change throughout our lives. Capturing this dynamic complexity in a digital form is perhaps the greatest challenge facing scientists and engineers working on mind-uploading technology. At the forefront of this technological revolution is Neuralink, a company founded by Elon Musk with the ambitious goal of developing ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces. These interfaces aim to bridge the gap between the human brain and computers, allowing for seamless communication and interaction between the two. Neuralink's approach involves implanting tiny thread-like electrodes into the brain, capable of both recording and stimulating neural activity. These electrodes, thinner than a human hair, are designed to be minimally invasive, minimizing potential damage to the delicate brain tissue. The long-term vision is to create a network of thousands, even millions of these electrodes, providing unprecedented access to the brain's activity. The implications of this technology are far-reaching. In the near term, Neuralink's brain-computer interfaces hold the promise of restoring lost function to individuals with paralysis, blindness, or other neurological disorders. By bypassing damaged nerves and connecting directly to the brain, these devices could allow paralyzed individuals to control prosthetic limbs with their thoughts or enable the blind to see again through artificial vision systems. However, the ultimate goal of Neuralink and other companies pursuing similar technologies is far more ambitious: to create a high-fidelity interface capable of uploading and downloading thoughts, memories, and even consciousness itself. This would represent a paradigm shift in our relationship with technology, blurring the lines between the biological and the digital in unprecedented ways. Section 4, the quest to replicate consciousness, a digital soul. While the technological hurdles of mind uploading are undeniably immense, perhaps the most profound questions are philosophical in nature. Can a digital copy of the mind truly replicate the human experience with all its nuances, emotions, and subjective feelings? Or would it be merely a sophisticated imitation, lacking the essential spark of consciousness that makes us human? The nature of consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries in science and philosophy. Some believe that consciousness is an emergent property of complex systems, like the human brain, and that it could therefore be replicated in a sufficiently advanced artificial system. Others argue that consciousness is fundamentally tied to our biological embodiment, and that it cannot be separated from the physical substrate of the brain. If consciousness is indeed an emergent property, then it stands to reason that a sufficiently detailed and accurate simulation of the brain could, in theory, give rise to consciousness. This digital mind would possess all the memories, personality traits, and quirks of its biological counterpart, experiencing the world and interacting with others just as a human would. However, even if we could create a digital mind that perfectly mimics the behavior and experiences of a human, the question remains, would it truly be the same? Would this digital consciousness possess the same sense of self, the same subjective experience of the world as its biological counterpart? Or would it be something fundamentally different, a digital echo of the original but lacking the essential spark of what makes us human? Section 5. The ethics of uploading, playing God, or embracing progress. The prospect of mind uploading raises a plethora of ethical dilemmas that we as a society must grapple with. Are we essentially playing God by attempting to transcend the natural limits of our biological existence? What are the ethical implications of creating digital copies of ourselves? Who has the right to access and control these digital minds? One of the most pressing concerns is the issue of identity. If we create a digital copy of our minds, is that copy truly us? Or is it a separate entity with its own unique identity? What happens to the original mind after the upload? Do both versions have equal rights and autonomy? These are complex questions with no easy answers, and they will require careful consideration and ethical frameworks as we venture into this uncharted territory. The potential for misuse and exploitation is another significant concern. In the wrong hands, mind-uploading technology could be used to control, manipulate, or even enslave digital minds. Imagine a world where corporations or governments could access and control our thoughts, memories, and even our very identities. Safeguarding against such dystopian scenarios is paramount, and robust ethical guidelines and regulations will be crucial to ensure the responsible development and use of this powerful technology. Section 6. Life beyond the physical body, exploring a digital existence. Assuming we can overcome the technical and ethical challenges, what would life be like for an uploaded mind? Freed from the limitations of a biological body, digital minds could potentially exist indefinitely, free from disease, aging, and the constraints of the physical world. They could travel at the speed of light, explore the vastness of space, or even inhabit simulated realities tailored to their every desire. Imagine a digital world where you could change your appearance at will, instantly teleport to any location, or even experience life from the perspective of another being. The possibilities for exploration and self-discovery would be limitless. Digital minds could dedicate themselves to pursuing knowledge, creating art, or simply experiencing the joy of existence in ways we can only begin to imagine. However, this digital existence also raises questions about the nature of reality and the meaning of life. In a world where experiences can be simulated, where pain and suffering can be eliminated, what does it mean to truly live? Would a life devoid of challenges and limitations be fulfilling, or would it lead to a sense of existential boredom and emptiness? These are questions that each uploaded mind would need to answer for themselves. The nature of their digital existence would likely depend on their individual personalities, desires, and choices. Some might choose to immerse themselves in virtual worlds, while others might prefer to focus on intellectual pursuits or contribute to the advancement of knowledge. The beauty of a digital existence is that it would offer an unprecedented degree of freedom and autonomy to shape one's own destiny.